In England, all versions of the game and all age groups are required to play modified netball. No standard format netball is allowed to take place until the government relax or remove social distancing measures. Modified netball is played in conjunction with the 2020 International Rules of Netball and any specific rules amendments for England netball products and programmes like B-netball, walking netball and para-netball. The main rules modifications are the 4-foot spacing of players for the start of play, our 3-foot mark is increased to 4 feet, penalised players are required to stand 4 feet away from the player they infringed, there's a total removal of toss-ups, and there is also a removal of idle interactions, which I'll explain a little bit later on. There are some specifics in relation to the start of play in modified netball. Goal shooter and goalkeeper are required to start inside their respective goal circles. This is an attempt to reduce congestion on the transverse line for a centre pass. They will also be required to be positioned 4 feet away from each other. Goal attack, goal defence, wing defence and wing attack are all able to position as normal at the transverse line for a pass to be taken, but are required to be positioned 4 feet away from each other. This includes to both opposition and teammates. Centres can position as normal in the centre third, but must do so from 4 feet away, whether they choose to do this defending the centre in the centre circle or if a centre decides to defend a player at the transverse line. The smallest of modifications created the biggest impact. By increasing the defending distance from 3 feet to 4 feet, almost all increased risks related to face-to-face interactions were removed. Our pilots showed more close interactions occurred in the goal circle than anywhere else on the court. With this in mind, players should be reminded to not stand still in close proximity of another player. This normally happens when defending or rebounding for a shot at goal. As a result, we will see more open and moving play inside the goal circles. Players are still permitted to contest and move past each other within 1 metre, as these interactions happen for less than 3 seconds and are often side to side or front to back, where the risk is lower. Other 4-foot related modifications relate to penalised players standing beside the player they infringed, but from a distance of 4 feet away. It will come as no surprise that toss-ups have been completely removed. The team who had possession directly before the action that caused the toss-up to be awarded will retain possession. In these scenarios, the umpire will briefly hold time, instruct the ball to be returned to the relevant team, and play will be restarted on the umpire's whistle. In addition to increasing the defending distance, there is a requirement for those not involved in play or who are stood still to be positioned 4 feet away from another player. As you heard from Dr. Jim, in one match we analysed, the goal shooter spent 49 minutes in the increased risk zone next to other players. We found that much of these idle interactions occurred when the ball was at the opposite end of the court and was mostly down to the goal shooter having a chat with the goalkeeper. Similar interactions occur between the goal attack and the goal defence at the transverse lines and the centres on the circle edge when players under the goal post. Everyone should also be mindful of their social distance when walking back after a goal is scored or when returning to the team benches at half-time and quarter-time. We're not saying that goal shooters and goalkeepers can't have a chat during the match, they just need to do it from 4 feet away.